Welcome back, Officers of the Public, to your course on Underworld Police Chief APGAINS. We're going to talk about how to fix your roster because lots of you guys come to me and say, APGAINS, my roster is not looking good. I want to win more Grand Arenas. Maybe even I took a long break. Maybe I used to play back in the day. I'm coming back. I don't want to delete my account. How can I kind of save it? Well, we have a great overview video for you that I did about a month ago. The content there is still obviously relevant, and it's a good video. If I do say so myself, if you guys want to watch that first, it's somewhere up there. You can go watch it. Yes, I know I had hair in that video. Don't make fun of me. I murdered my barber. So if you don't see me for a while, I'm on the run from the law. All right, so let's start off with if you've taken a break. Because a lot of players used to play this game. They take a break for a couple months, a couple years. They come back. They don't really know what's what. And they just want to be pushed in the right direction. Maybe you already know how to play the game. And you just kind of want a quick refresher on what's good and what's not good. Well, depending on where you are, you're going to need to do a couple of things. If you say like sub 5 million GP, you probably have maybe a solid core if you played recently in the last 2 or so years. You know, if you played before relics were introduced, you probably have a whole butt ton of gear 12s and nothing much past that. So you're probably not looking too pretty there. But in any case, what we want to do is the most important thing in this game by far is having good core teams. Core teams are obvious to most players, but of course, if you've taken a break, you might, need a quick refresher. So we're just going to show you those really quickly. CLS, Empire Vader, like TM, Terminator Train, a Padme squad, a Bounty Hunter squad, a Darth Revan squad of some kind, a Jedi Knight Revan squad of some kind, General Grievous squad of some kind, and a Gas squad of some kind. So those are generally your core. If you like stop playing before Galactic Legends, you're like, oh, these big Galactic Legends, they look so cool, I want one. Let's slow our roll a little bit. If we don't have those teams, we should not be farming Galactic Legends because we're going to be putting ourselves in a massive disadvantage in GAC. Now, of course, obviously, if you're in lower GAC ranks, your opponents are usually less GP, less skill, and you can kind of get away with it. But I don't want you guys to sell yourself short. I don't want you guys to bank on the fact that you're going to be in the low levels of GAC forever. We want to kind of progress always upwards. That's kind of the thing here is we talk to mostly early game, mid game, especially free-to-play players, returning players, of course. And the only thing that I care about is, one, being loved by someone, because my parents won't do it, but two, is getting you guys to improve in actual Grand Arena and start to win your Grand Arenas more. Progress up the ranks, get to Kyber, get all your stuff, so that you guys can actually enjoy what I believe is, if you see right above my head, the most fun part of the game. And if you haven't addressed the 7 or so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 core teams, then you're not in a great place. After that, after we've addressed the 8 core teams, then we need to go in one of two ways, right? The first and likely more popular among players is going to be picking up our first Galactic Legend. Now, this is going to be different for different players. If you've done some silly stuff, maybe it's Sith Eternal Emperor, maybe it's SLKR. If you've gotten into a good guild and your guild is doing, R8s and Territory Wars because you're like 3 to 4 million GP, it's probably going to be Kenobi because he's by far the best. If you really like Luke and the Jedi Knight Luke path, you can go here. Don't go Rey. Lord Vader's actually very good, but you're going to be kind of held back by the relic requirements there. But his requirements are actually pretty solid. So wherever you decide to go, for whatever your account looks like, because I can't see your specific account right now. Have I roster viewed 10,000 plus accounts, and I know what a vast majority of players tend to do at each part of the game? Of course. But you specifically watching this, I don't know what your account looks like. For different people, you're going to want to pursue a different Galactic Legend first, because even though everyone says they follow the APGAINS approved farming guide, the best farming guide, of course, in the game, if you are free to play and want to win as many Grand Arenas as possible, no one actually follows it to a T because no one has kind of that, intestinal fortitude to stick to the numbers, to stick to what's proven to work, and they go off and they do their own fun thing. And that's totally fine. This is, in fact, a game at the end of the day, and you should do whatever you want. If you do want a link to the most updated, most recent of those farming guides, boom. 2 videos in the thingy up there, whatever that's called, the YouTubers know. I'm not a real YouTuber, so I don't know. In one video, wow, we're really coming someplace. So one of the 2 paths after we get our core is a Galactic Legend. The other, and could be more important depending on what your account looks like, is going to be ships. Now, most players neglect ships pretty hard. And ships are probably in the mid-game, especially in the mid-game. The late game, kind of everyone has the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. But in the mid-game, ships are the most important part of this game, by far. the reason I'm able to punch up against and win against people with 3 to 4 more Galactic Legends, 3 to 4 more million GP, is because their ships are absolute doggy doo-doo, right? Now, for 5 million GP, having, this fleet kind of works, but I place it on defense. Having like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half, maybe we can call it 6 fleets, is pretty good. Oftentimes I can get away with winning by placing only fleets on defense and no characters because my opponents, have so much more GP, so many more Galactic Legends. I save literally everything for offense. But having ships gives you a massive advantage over most players because, and this is very important, ships suck to farm. I have been farming this Emperor's Shuttle for what feels like half of my known life. And watch. Of course, because we're recording live, they're going to give us like 5 shards out of 5, but usually I get 1 or 0. Look, and I don't do extra refreshes on this because I'm farming up for other stuff. So this is my one shot at getting a couple of Emperor Shuttle shards a day. And this will beat you down. This will make you cry. And most players identify the fact that farming ships sucks, and then they don't do it. And that's where you come in. You've seen an APGAINS video. You already have a great account because you're following the greatest free-to-play farming guide. So you're already dominating your opponents. But now you can dominate even stronger opponents because players are not farming ships, and you are. And that's going to help you win. The reason I think ships are the most fun part of the game, and people are like, oh, APGAINS, how dare you say that's very controversial. Look at all these boring-ass ships. No one wants to play with these. Even the ship game mode sucks. Here's the thing. When your ships are so much better than your opponents, and you can full clear, you get to save everything for offense, and then you get to enjoy all of these beautiful characters. Not these ones. These ones suck. You get to enjoy all these beautiful characters even more because you get to use all of them. You get to have fun with every inch, every ounce, are there any other, metrics, every, thingy, that's an official term, by the way, every thingy of your accounts, because you've done the dirty work that no one else wants to. This is the picking up an extra shift at work so you can take your family on vacation. Everyone else is going to be like, oh, how is he able to take his family on vacation? We have the same salary. This is unfair. He must be selling drugs. No, you put in a little bit of extra work and you got the reward. Maybe you suffered for a little bit longer than most people are okay with suffering. But at the end of the day, is the reward worth the sacrifice? It is. Working that extra shift, take your family on vacation, your wife and your kids or your husband. I don't know. There's 1.9% of you are women, so I won't judge. But your significant other and your children are going to be like, that's a memory that they'll have for the rest of your life. And for you, being able to go ship only defense and meme around or just have more stuff, more flexibility to play with, to win as many grand arenas as possible, to climb as high as you want, and dominate your opponents despite them having millions more GP and many, many more Galactic Legends. Is that fun going to be worth it? I say so. It's worth it for me. Let me know if it's worth it for you. So this is going to be a series, how to fix your roster. There's going to be a bunch of videos. We already have a good video in the series. At the end of this video, there'll be like a little card. There'll be like, subscribe, click on this playlist, and you guys can see the existing video in this playlist and just come back every so often because this playlist is going to be updated pretty frequently over the next couple of weeks because we have a bunch of requests. If you guys have a question about how to fix your roster, let me know in the comment section, and I will try to make a video about it. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.